Motherfucker! Greetings and welcome to the first episode of Album Rankings in the year 2024. I am Jolam, and today I'm going to be ranking all 17 studio albums from the British heavy metal band Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden are a British heavy metal band formed in Leighton, East London, England in 1975 by bassist and primary songwriter Steve Harris. The band underwent a resurgence in popularity with a series of albums and highly successful tours. Their three most recent albums, The Vinyl Frontier, Book of Souls, and Senjutsu, all reached number one in more than 20 countries. They have sold over 130 million records worldwide and obtained over 600 certifications. The band is considered to be the most influential and revered rock bands of all time. We start at number 17 with Iron Maiden's most recent record, Senjutsu, translated in Japanese for the word tactics. It was released on September 3rd, 2021 in the studio of Guillaume Tell in Paris. Produced by Kevin Shirley. It received positive response from most of the fans and music critics, eventually reaching the top of the bestsellers list of 27 countries, including Belgium, Chile, Brazil, Bolivia, Colombia, Mexico, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Hungary, Croatia, Malaysia, Serbia, Indonesia, Russia, South Africa, Finland, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Thailand, India, and South Korea. It was their highest chart position in the U.S. Billboard 200, debuting at number 3. For what it's worth, the songs Stratigo and The Writing on the Wall were the standout songs. Everything else on the album, I just did not understand it at all. Next. At number 16 is Iron Maiden's 8th record, No Prayer for the Dying, released on October 1st, 1990. This was the first album to feature Yannick Gers on guitar, who replaced Adrian Smith. Smith left the band during the pre-production phase, unhappy with the musical direction it was taking. Gers had previously worked with singer Bruce Dickinson on his first solo album, Tattooed Millionaire. He had also worked with Ian Gillan, the former Marillion singer Fish, and the new wave of British heavy metal band White Spirit. Although it received generally mixed to negative reviews, the album peaked at number 2 on the UK album charts and contains the only UK singles chart number 1 single, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Next. At number 15 is Iron Maiden's 11th studio record, Virtual 11. This marked the second and final Iron Maiden album with singer Blaze Bayley. It was not their best record at all. It's probably rock bottom for Iron Maiden, as their popularity was just going down, down, down. The standout tracks were like The Angel and The Gambler, Future Real, and When Two Worlds Collide. Next, at number 14 is Iron Maiden's 10th record, The X Factor, released on October 7th, 1995. This was the first album to feature Blaze Bayley, who was formerly in the band Wolfsbane prior to joining Iron Maiden, on lead vocals. The standout tracks include Sign of the Cross, Lord of the Flies, and Man on the Edge. The album was met with lukewarm responses from all critics. One of the all-music critic ratings was rated the album 2 stars out of 5, suffering from a lack of powerful riffs and tightly written songs. Poorly done. At number 13 is Iron Maiden's 14th record, A Matter of Life and Death, released on August 25th, 2006. It was the first Iron Maiden record to enter the U.S. Billboard charts at number 9, achieving significant chart success in many other countries as well. While it's not a concept album, war and religion are recurring themes throughout, as well as the cover artwork. The standout tracks were The Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg and Different World. Next, at number 12 is Iron Maiden's 16th studio record, The Book of Souls. Released on September 4th, 2015, it is the band's first studio double album and is also their longest to date with a total length of 92 minutes and 11 seconds. Produced by longtime collaborator Kevin Shirley, The Book of Souls was recorded at Guillaume Tell Studios in Paris, France, from September to December of 2014. A critical and commercial success of Book of Souls, it topped the album in 24 countries, earning the band their first consecutive UK number 1 album, following 1982's Number of the Beast, 1988's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, 1992's Fear of the Dark, and 2010's The Final Frontier. In the US, it reached number 4 on the Billboard 200. Next. But a minute. The standout songs were like Speed of Light and Empire of the Clouds. I also like the title track as well. Next. At number 11 is Iron Maiden's 13th record, Dance of Death. Released on September 2nd, 2003. It was the second studio release since the return of Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith. The album features the band's first ever fully acoustic track, Journeyman, as well as New Frontier, their only song co-written by drummer Nickel McBrain. The standout tracks were like Wildest Dreams, Rainmaker, No More Lies, Passchendaele, and Montesegor, as well as the title track. The album made it to number 18 on the Billboard 200, and it was number 2 in the UK. Next, at number 10 is Iron Maiden's 15th studio record, The Final Frontier. Released on August 13th of 2010, the album received favorable reviews from critics and peaked at number 1 in 28 countries, including the UK, where it became the band's 4th release to top the UK albums chart. It has the highest place on the Billboard 200 at number 4, marking their highest placement on the chart until it was surpassed by 2021 Senjutsu, which debuted at number 3. In addition to gaining the band's first Grammy Award in the Best Metal Performance category for the song El Dorado, it was a free download on June 8th of 2010. The album was such a major success thanks to Satellite 15 / The Final Frontier and El Dorado and the album closer When the Wild Wind Blows. Next. At number 9 is Iron Maiden's 4th record, Peace of Mind, released on May 16, 1983. This was the first album to feature drummer Nickel McBrain on drums after replacing Clive Burr. Peace of Mind was mostly a critical and commercial success, reaching number 3 in the UK album charts, receiving platinum certifications in the UK and North America. The standout tracks included Flight of Icarus, The Trooper. Both of them were hugely successful songs. And there were other songs in there like Die With Your Boots On, Where Eagles Dare, and To Tame a Land. Next, at number 8 is Iron Maiden's 9th studio record, Fear of the Dark. Released on May 11th, 1992. It reached the UK charts at number 1, but it was like their 3rd studio release to top the UK Billboard charts. It would be the last to feature Bruce Dickinson on lead vocals until he returned in 1999. It was also the first album to be produced by bassist and co-founder Steve Harris, and the last album to feature work of producer Martin Birch, who retired after its release. It made it to number 12 on the Billboard 200, and the standout tracks were Wasting Love, From Here to Eternity, Be Quick or Be Dead, and of course the title track, Fear of the Dark. Next, at number 7 is Iron Maiden's 2nd record, Killers. It was released on February 16th, 1981, and it was re-released on May 11th, 1981 by Harvest and Capitol Records. It would be the first with guitarist Adrian Smith and their last with singer Paul Di'Anno, who was fired after problems with his stage performance arose due to alcohol and cocaine use. Killers was also the first Iron Maiden record to be produced by Martin Birch, who went on to produce the next 8 Iron Maiden records. The standout songs include Wrathchild, Purgatory, Twilight Zone, and, of course, the title track itself, Killers. Not to mention songs like Murders in the Rue Morgue and the instrumental Genghis Khan. Next, at number 6 is Iron Maiden's self-titled debut album, released on April 14th, 1980. It was the band's only album to feature guitarist Dennis Stratton. It was the band's only album to be produced by Will Malone, whom Iron Maiden has since claimed lacked interest in the project and effectively left them to produce most of the record themselves. According to Steve Harris, it was completed in 13 days. Thanks to the standout tracks such as Prowler, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, Phantom of the Opera, and of course, Iron Maiden, the album closer. This deserves to be at number 6. Next, we're now down to the top 5, and coming in at number 5 is Iron Maiden's 12th studio record, Brave New World. Released on May 29, 2000, it marked the return of singer Bruce Dickinson and guitarist Adrian Smith, now recording as a 6-piece along with Janet Gers, who had replaced Smith in '90, remained with the band. The album artwork and title song are references to a novel of the same name by Aldous Huxley. The songs The Wicker Man, Out of the Silent Planet were released as singles. As far as I'm concerned, the standout track is The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, Brave New World, Blood Brothers, and Dream of Mirrors. The album made it to number 39 on the Billboard 200, making it to the top 40, which was good on their part. So, Brave New World was like going in the right direction as far as regaining popularity went for Iron Maiden. Next, at number 4 is Iron Maiden's 7th studio record, The Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, released on April 11th, 1988. It's a concept album inspired by the novel Seventh Son by Orson Scott Card. The record incorporates elements of progressive rock seen in the length and complex structure of the title track. It was also the first Iron Maiden album to feature keyboards, after the band had introduced non-keyboard synth effects on the previous record, Somewhere in Time. It is Iron Maiden's 2nd studio record to reach the top of the UK charts, and its lead single, Can I Play With Madness, was a commercial success, peaking at number 3 on the UK singles chart. Next, at number 3 is Iron Maiden's 6th record, Somewhere in Time, released on September 29, 1986. Recorded at Compass Port Studio in Nassau, Bahamas, Wisseloord in Hilversum, Netherlands, Antilles. Iron Maiden's Somewhere in Time had reached platinum status in America, going as far as number 11th on the Billboard 200, and reached number 3 on the UK charts. The standout tracks include Wasted Years, Stranger in a Strange Land, Heaven Can Wait, and of course, Caught Somewhere in Time, which was the album opener. Next, at number 2 is Iron Maiden's 5th record, Power Slave. Released on September 3rd, 1984. Power Slave was known for the long, epic song called Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It clocked in at 13 minutes and 45 seconds in length. It was the Iron Maiden's longest song to date, until Empire of the Clouds from 2015's The Book of Souls. Since its release, Iron Maiden's Power Slave had been a platinum seller, reaching number 21 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the UK album charts. The standout tracks include Flash of the Blade and 2 hit singles, Aces High and 2 Minutes to Midnight. Next, and the number 1 ranked Iron Maiden album is 1982's The Number of the Beast. Released on March 22nd, 1982 at Battery Studios in London. It was the first Iron Maiden record to feature singer Bruce Dickinson, and their last with drummer Clive Burr. The Number of the Beast was met with critical and commercial success and became the band's first number 1 album on the UK charts. It produced the singles Run to the Hills and The Number of the Beast, along with the album closer, the epic Hallowed Be Thy Name. I recently did an album review of The Number of the Beast last week. You can go check that out in the archives below. I ranked it the greatest album Iron Maiden has ever done. Now I'm going to get a lot of shit in the comment section below after somebody views this video. But you know what? To be honest, I haven't listened to the whole album of Senjutsu yet. But that's coming at a later date, as well as a review of the album. So bear with me on that. I thought No Prayer for the Dying should have been the worst Iron Maiden record, putting that at 17. Virtual 11, The X Factor, two of the worst Iron Maiden albums of the 90s. And it featured Blaze Bayley on lead vocals, which kind of dragged the band down, losing its popularity in the process. A Matter of Life and Death, that's probably the weakest album of the 2000s since the reunion of Dickinson and Smith. The Book of Souls, where I thought was one of their strongest efforts, even though it's the longest album to date, and it's the first double album. Dance of Death, which I think should have been higher on the list, as well as The Final Frontier, as well as the rest of the list, like Peace of Mind, Fear the Dark, Killers, Iron Maiden, Brave New World, Seventh Son, Somewhere in Time, deserve to be where they're at. And it was a tough call to see which Iron Maiden now makes it to number 2 and number 1. But it was obvious that Number of the Beast would be number 1 and Power Slave be number 2. So that wraps up this week's album rankings. I'll return each Sunday from now on, starting today. Each Sunday with another album rankings. Until then, adios.
No.